I've done today, and I'm basically out here for animals, and I'm very, very happy to have two friends with me today. We have, as you may recall from earlier, we have Chirag here.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
So Chirag was here on stream just a few days ago.
A few days ago.
And then we have a new person on the stream. We have Arjun here, fellow vegan.
Well, what's good, YouTube? Like and subscribe.
Thank you so much. So we're going to kind of be having conversations with people with the social experiment model popularized by Chip from Vegan Power Lab / that Chip guy. So basically have the sign saying, come participate in a social experiment. And I think we'll maybe be out here for 45-ish minutes, maybe longer. So we'll see what comes of this little bout of activism. So we'll start just holding the sign and kind of seeing what happens. So thanks to everyone who's here.
Let's see if people are saying in the chat.
Nothing yet. We've only got 3 people watching so far.
Okay.
So. I'm wearing a hat with a V on it, so I don't know if that's a little bit of a giveaway.
I don't know the hat in here.
It's all right. They don't know that veganism is my whole identity anyway.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, it's a vegan doing a social experiment.
Yeah, they might not even know
Ollie Wally says, "Go vegans, go." You want to participate in a social experiment? Ignored. So I don't think we'll be waiting too long today. I think people are in a certain mood to. And the weather's nice. Earlier today, I was just waiting like way too long, but.
Yeah, I know. So,
Okay, so Renee asks, "What's bro doing?" And Cute Animal says, "What does the sign say?" So the sign says, "Come participate in a social experiment." And what I'm doing is a social experiment where I ask people about oppression and then ask them if they believe that non-human animals, like the animals that humans are exploiting in mass, such as cows, pigs, turkeys, chickens, and fishes, are victims of oppression. And then basically asking people to go vegan, basically. That's the goal, asking people to go vegan. You don't need to do that, I think people, I don't know. It makes me feel like even more of a spectacle.
do you want me to hold the sign and you point to me?
No, it's all right.
I think it gives it more attention.
Yeah, but I don't think people are not stopping for the lack of attention. I think they're not stopping for a lack of willingness to be on camera and potentially get canceled and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, things that people worry
Some
about.
people are just like walking with blind.
Yes, it is Chicago. Yeah, no, I feel you.
I want to be like,
Yeah.
pay attention to the sign.
Yeah, one thing I found that maybe helps is like when people walk by, if they're on the fence about it, you can give them a little verbal encouragement, like gentle eye contact with some verbal encouragement. Participate. Do it. Where are you guys visiting from? Are you visiting?
She's visiting.
Yes,
From where?
I came on Mecca today. I just arrived.
From where?
Turkey.
Oh, ben Türk'üm. Sahiden.
Nerede öğrendin?
If you guys wouldn't mind, Türk'üm. Okay, so yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. Canlıyız. Okay, so they speak Turkish. Okay, so maybe I can do this in Turkish.
There
then.
we go. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I can't. Okay, so oppression diye bir kelime var. Onun ne demek olduğunu biliyor musunuz?
Oppression. Sen biliyorsun.
Oppression.
Oppression.
Oppression.
Bir insan ya da bir grup başka diğer bir grubu bastırıyor.
Aha.
Yani.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe I can mix English and Turkish. So biz hayvan hakları için savunuyoruz.
Okay.
Evet, merak ediyorum ki size göre hayvanlar haklara
Var mı?
ait
Hakları var mı?
hakları var mı?
Evet.
Onlara ait olan haklar var mı?
Okay, I feel like they definitely have some right as an animal, but still I don't know why I'm still now vegan. But I want to respect them. I always drink like almond milk because I respect animals, but still I do like work and I feel like my body needs protein. I feel like I still like consume some chicken and steak. I want to stop it, but somehow I'm still working on that. But I definitely agree that animals have some right too. I don't agree they use them for commercial or whatever the reason. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I feel like they definitely have some right.
Yeah, what do you think?
Türkçe cevaplayabilir miyim?
You can respond in Turkish.
Bence kesinlikle var hakları.
She says, I think they do for sure have rights.
Çünkü genellikle insanlar onların yaşam alanlarını katledip ev yapıyorlar. Binalar yapıyorlar ve bence daha sonrasında mesela arıların olduğu bir yeri katledilmişti. Daha sonrasında o insanlara arı katli gerçekleştiğini düşünmüşlerdi. Bence o arının hakkıydı yani. Orası arının hakkıydı. Bana sorarsanız. Bu arada çok ciddi cevaplıyorum. Bilmem bakmayın.
So she says that she feels like animals definitely do have rights, and she's against when people basically build like buildings and homes where animals used to have homes, like even bees, for example. Arı, bee. Okay, so merak ediyorum ki size göre mesela bir köpeğin öldürülmesi, yani o köpeğe göre daha korkunç bir olay mı? Mesela bir domuzun öldürülmesinin durumundan.
Şeyden bahsedebilirsin. Ben çok ülkede olmadığı için haberdar edemedim ama Türkiye'de government kararıyla köpekleri uyutma kararı aldılar değil mi? Bundan 2-3 ay önce ve sokaktaki köpekleri toplayıp hepsini iğneleyip uyutturup öldürdüler değil mi? Çok vahşice. Bence bundan bahsedebilirsin. Hiç hoş bir durum değildi bence.
Yeah, so I was asking like if you believe that the experience of a dog being killed is different than the experience of a pig being killed, for example, and she mentioned that in Turkey a lot of dogs were killed from like basically a purpose of like getting them off the streets, and she found that very sad, wild, vahşi. Yeah, so it sounds like yani bana maybe say Turkish. So bana göre sizin etiksel bir kelime mi bilmiyorum. Etiksel inançlarınız var hayvanlar hakkında ama sadece onları uygulamanız lazım.
Evet, kesinlikle. Ben hayvanların haklarının olduğuna inanıyorum ama bu hakları hayatıma uygulamakta zorlanıyorum. Bunları seviye azaltmayı planlıyorum.
So she says she believes animals have rights, and that she wants to gradually take steps to eliminate her animal product consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to give you guys size biraz bilgi vermek istiyorum. Şu kitapçıklarım var burada. Birer ikinize de vereyim bir tane. Türkçemle sabırlı olduğunuz için teşekkür ederim.
How did you learn the Turkish?
Ailem Türk. Yeah.
You are Türk.
Burada doğdum ama
Did you
evde Türkçe konuşuyorlar.
Güzel. Hem İngiliz hem Türkçe oluyor. Çok iyi, evet.
Ama
Çok
evde sırf
memnun
Türkçe
oldum.
konuşuyorlar.
Anne baba hep Türkçe konuşuyor. Anladım. Çok iyi. Kitapçıkım çok teşekkür ederiz.
Teşekkür ederim ve bunu YouTube'da bulabilirsiniz. Kanalım Haz.
Let me follow you. Yeah, I will definitely double check. Great.
Sizin aksanınızdan hemen Türk olduğunuzu anladım.
Çok evet, Türk aksan var evet.
Yok yani öyle yani öyle
Yo,
kalın diye
anlaşılıyor,
değil de öyle Yani kulağın
Belli
ona göre
oluyor,
ayarlanınca. It's a Haz vegan. H-A-Z. Başta A yok. H-A-Z.
Ben buldum.
Haz bir de vegan. Aynı kelime.
Ben
Buldum Haz vegan.
Aynen.
Kaç yıldır peki vegansınız? Kaç
12
yaşında?
buçuk. I've been vegan for 12 and a half years.
Sizin peki söylediğiniz neydi? Hani ne değiştirdi sizin vegan olmanızı?
Hayvanların yani yaşadıkları şeylere nasıl diyorsun şahit oldum.
Hı hı.
I witnessed what animals were going through. Video yani documentary seyrettim. Ve buna katılmak istemedim artık. Yani
Kendi kendinize aydınlandınız.
evet, düşündüm ki yani ben buna karşı bunu destekliyorsam yani buna para veriyorsam
Hı hı.
um, devam et diyorum onlara. Yani yaptığınızın iyi bir şey olduğunu söylemiş oluyorum.
Hı hı. Anladım. Çok teşekkür ederiz. Evet, böyle bir experience'ı bize yaşattığınız için çok teşekkürler. Kitapçıda definitive okuyacağız.
Tamam.
Videoyu da
Güzel.
beğenip yorum yapacağız.
Tamam. Yeah, yapın. Okay.
Beğenip yorum yapın arkadaşlar. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Güle
you
güle.
very much.
Bye bye. Okay, so I got to use some Turkish right there. It seems like they both had a desire. At least one of them definitely seemed to. She at least said that she was taking steps to reduce her animal product consumption. So, one moment, please. What's up?
Here, I think she has better.
You guys can talk. Yeah. Okay, so the there's more people stopped and the event is blossoming, which is great to see. It's good to have more people talking about this stuff, even if we don't get all the conversations recorded. I think that's a good outcome to have. So anyway, yeah, I think both of them seemed open-minded toward veganism. Both the people who stopped, and I think one of them was already kind of actively reducing. So I think that was good to see. So we'll keep going. I apologize to anybody who doesn't speak Turkish, which is probably most everyone here. But I felt that was kind of best to communicate. My Turkish is not nearly as good as my English, but yeah, I thought that would be kind of fun. It's not often that you come across Turkish people. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Hey Mobius, hey Lewis is here, Michael's here. Mobius, you're not that late. I think that was maybe the first conversation that I had, and unless you speak Turkish, you might not have understood much of it. So yeah, you're just on time, I would say, and I'll keep going here. So I'm going to borrow the sign back from my friends here who are already in a conversation, as you can see. I don't want to crash that, but I'll just kind of subtly grab the sign, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so we'll keep going.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what we're talking about is working with that. So we want to see how people feel with yeah, especially what the lifestyle is. Yeah. Because they don't have the choice or agency with
A lot of happy-looking people walking by. Some not so happy people, happy-looking people walking by. That's life. Lewis says, "Are you in Turkey?" No, I'm not. But those ladies happen to speak Turkish, and I think one of them spoke primarily Turkish. So I just wanted to speak to them in Turkish. My Turkish isn't great though. It's I mean I'm fluent in it, but it's not. I'm not like a super master level. Yes, coincidence, definitely. And this conversation seems to be going well. They've given out some literature from Vegan Outreach. So you can watch the body language there. this is great having fellow activists with me. I wish this was the case more because it's just amazing to be able to magnify that effect. Body language seems nice and open. It seems like it's a good conversation. I appreciate everybody for being here. Yeah, Lewis, the sky is blue. It's not very humid today, actually. It's been humid for the last couple weeks. I think the humidity broke like a day or two ago, and it's been just such a relief. I'm still blasting air conditioning, but it's been much a relief. Yes, Mobius, it's certainly a lot better to have some reinforcements for sure. All right, so it seems like that conversation has ended. I'm going to ask my fellow activists for a debrief. You guys want to give a debrief?
Yeah, so it was seems like a group of friends came by, and they seem pretty receptive in terms of like oppression being wrong, even with the different justifications people give. But I guess they were trying to make the argument that, well, if you raise the animal yourself, then it's okay to kill it. But yeah, it seemed like they weren't too interested in conversating after that. So we did give them flyers.
Yeah, so. I think they were mostly on board. I mean, at that point, yeah, like you said, they were on their way. So it's like we weren't really gotten engaged in a whole another rabbit hole. I think they were mostly on our side. Like the one dude said, he's like mostly vegetarian, and the other woman he was with was interested in it. So yeah, I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Nice. I've been holding this sign, so I didn't hear, but I guess it went well, right?
Yeah, I would say.
The body language looked really open. I was commenting on that during the stream.
Yeah.
Like, nobody looked standoffish. Yeah. Nice. There's a lot of officers in the vicinity. I wish we could talk to them, but I think they can't, while they're on duty, they can't participate in a social experiment. Yeah. But we'll keep going. Maybe get a little closer and see. You guys are doing great, says Mobius. Thank you for advocating for animals. Did you guys see the comments here?
No.
Got some very appreciative comments.
Oh, the chat.
Oh yeah, because the mic is plugged in.
What's that?
Yeah, I forget that too.
I think Twitch streamers are so funny. It's like thanks chat.
Yeah. I've never imagined that would ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I might drop out of school in the stream.
I couldn't believe that.
Johnny Vegan Seed, yes, twice in one day. Exactly. It's number 2 for today. Yes. But I've got friends now, so it's easier. Earlier today it was morning time. It was just me. It was a lot slower. There's more people out now. There's so many cool people here. Lewis, Robin Hoodsta, Johnny Vegan Seed, Mobius. Robin Hoodsta, you do have friends. All these people in this chat are your vegan family. You got to participate to find out. It only takes like 3 minutes.
Participate how? You gotta pay anything? Nope.
I'm not asking for money or giving any.
Alright, fuck it. I got time.
All right, so we are live on YouTube, just so you know. So if you want to come into the frame with me, that'd be cool. So what's your name?
Aiden.
Aiden?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So my name is Haas, and I'm running an experiment basically asking people, there you go, about oppression.
Okay.
And we are animal rights activists, so we're asking people basically if they believe that animals besides humans have rights.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit hypocritical to say because I eat meat. I try to be as healthy and humane as I can about it, but I guess that's an oxymoron a bit. But
what do you think it is about it that, like, what is it about the eating animals that makes it hypocritical to say they have rights? That might be all the work that I can do, honestly. It's just getting you to think about that question. Honestly.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think about it all the time. But it's one of those things, if you think about just how nature works, it's a food chain thing. I think exploiting the food chain is probably not the best, not healthy. But, like I said, it's a bit hypocritical because people eat meat. It's a food source. It's what we've built a lot of infrastructure on. Do I think it should be taken advantage of? No. I hate when you hear about inhumane practices and whatnot. But again, it comes off hypocritical saying it as someone who eats meat. But
I think that maybe it wouldn't come off as hypocritical if it was a necessity to eat animals.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I I would say I'm all for pushing for like the impossible stuff, all for pushing like as much vegan, vegetarian stuff as possible.
Not vegetarian, right? Because then that's exploiting the reproductive system.
Of course, I'm saying it in a general sense. I know there's
plant-based.
Yeah, I know there's a bunch more deep down, that goes into it. But like I said, all for it. I know more recently a lot of infrastructure is going to support it. So. Love to see it. I don't eat as much meat. I try to keep animal products to a minimum, but
if we think about also the restructuring of the economy, think about like different situation, obviously different set of victims. But if we think about the transatlantic slave trade, for example, how much the economy was centered around that. Veganism is to non-human animals as, let's say, feminism is to women, or anti-speciesism is to animals as anti-racism is to humans. And it's not just African Americans, obviously. It's any kind of racism, whether it's against white people, brown, whatever, just any kind of racism. Some people might even say that speciesism, differentiation between species, like distinguishing which species deserve rights or should be oppressed systematically, is the purest form of racism, because ultimately it comes down to sizes, shapes, and colors.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I don't. Like I said, I don't disagree with it. It's just one of those. I feel like I don't have the credibility to speak on it. I do what I can, but ultimately I'm not willing to fully give it up, mostly just out of convenience. And, I do hope at some point it becomes, on par with average cost, and, it creates jobs if you get into the industry and we build infrastructure around it. So again, all for it. I love seeing it. I'll continue to do what I can to change up diet and change habits when and where I can.
And, veganism, as I mentioned, with it being kind of the animal equivalent of feminism, goes beyond just diet, where we don't want to use animals in any way.
Yeah.
So we believe that animals are here with us instead of being for us, like here to serve us. We don't believe in this idea of like them being put on earth to be used by people. So like when it comes to certain things like circuses, for example, where animals are used, or like zoos, stuff tested on animals. Sounds like you have a vegan heart, honestly. I can feel that a little bit visceral.
I
seem a
just
little
have
to actually disdain injustice.
No, my thing is I just have like put out what you want to get, and that extends itself to kind of any and all life forms. But again, I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian, so I'm aware of it. I just don't like seeing stuff exploited. It kind of goes into the whole like capitalist thing.
Oh yeah, actually the initial word for capitalism has to do with capita, heads of cattle. Okay. So it's actually the original capitalism was like, basically, even the term for war, I believe it was Sanskrit, was like basically stealing the cattle of your enemy, basically. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So if you're anti-capitalism, it's the epitome of
hand in hand.
So Aiden, thank you. I know I kind of told you, we'd be quick here, so I'd just like to give you some information here.
Appreciate
it's from Vegan Outreach, and thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Man.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Likewise.
Thank you. All right, Mobius, heads of cattle, which is the word that is used to describe bovines, basically, who are enslaved. Maybe I should stop using that word. I had heard that described that way, but maybe I should stop using that word. And it looks like our friends are in a conversation right now as well. So that's great to see. The effect is multiplying. If I get in, we both are getting into the conversation simultaneously. So this is pretty awesome. I think, for every conversation I've had, for the most part, my friends have had a conversation. So this is like mega multiplying our effect here. I'm gonna go ahead and snag that sign for my friend Chirag, even though I'm a little bit. I don't really want to like get in there and kind of like maybe I don't know if I would ruin the vibe and kind of like make the conversation cut off, but I'm gonna try it. Vegan Heretic, good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate everybody who's here with an either open mind toward veganism or who's vegan themselves. Thank you so much for being here. We need more signs. Yeah, not a bad idea. This is one of those forms of activism that it's kind of hard to imagine how many people could theoretically run it at the same time. So, I came out here with Chirag a couple days ago, I think, and so that was me trying it as a group of two, and then now we have three, and I think it's interesting to imagine how it could kind of grow more and more. So I'm inspired, even as somebody who's participating in it myself. We got the backup from the cops here. They're here keeping the peace, keeping the safety. Thank you, officers, for keeping the safety. Thank you for keeping the peace. They did not acknowledge me, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna go grab this sign anyway, though, because I wanna keep the momentum going here.
Yeah, and so I had brought up.
Okay, so back at it. It's been pretty busy in terms of people stopping. My battery is at 44. That's pretty good. Evil Steven, hello. Thank you for being here. Glad you're here. We've had a few good conversations. That last one, I enjoyed that conversation. That gentleman was pretty open-minded, I thought. So let's keep this going. I don't know if the camera angle seems too high. I feel like it's showing a lot of the kind of tops of buildings, so lower that a little bit. Okay. Maybe even lower it a little bit more. It feels like it's too low, but it's angled up a little bit, so I think it's pointing up. Okay, I think that's good. Let me know if the camera looks bad. Oh, thank you, Evil Steven. I kind of wondered if this hat would be a giveaway, but it hasn't really prevented many people from stopping, I don't think, theoretically, so keep it up. Got some curiosity, people curious about the sign. The energy is slowly but surely shifting toward a nightlife kind of mode here in downtown Chicago on a Saturday evening. Getting some interesting looks, that's for sure. Anthony Sanford says, I just tuned in. What are we doing? Hey, Anthony, glad you're here. So I'm running a social experiment. I'm an animal rights activist, and I'm basically holding a sign that says, come participate in a social experiment. And I'm encouraging people to stop and basically talk to me about veganism. Sometimes I get into it really quickly. Sometimes I present kind of a question tree and get into it more quickly. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Johnny Vegan Seed. I'm with two fellow activists right now. So this is the largest group that I've done this with so far today. And it seems like they're done with the conversation. So that was a pretty solid length conversation. So I'm curious. Let's maybe call them over and ask them for a debrief because I'm curious. Let's see how it went. Friends, how did it go?
I would say that one went pretty well. So it seemed like the gentleman, he knew a little bit about veganism. He said that he would be more inclined to go vegetarian. He thought veganism was a little too extreme. But he did agree that oppression is wrong. But when we brought it to the animals, he said, well, it depends. And, but I think we planted the seed. They were very good sports about listening to the spiel.
Did they take literature?
They did.
Yep, they got one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So hopefully,
job
we
well
planted
done.
the
Thank
seed.
you guys for your advocacy.
So yeah, I could see him going vegan in the future. I think when he said like extreme, he meant like, oh, if I were to do it like tomorrow, that'd be extreme.
Like sudden jolt.
Yeah, but I think like somewhere down the line, I see it.
Amazing. That is beautiful to hear. All right. Well, I guess we'll keep going.
Yeah, sure.
Keep going. It's really freaking amazing, by the way, to kind of like both be in a conversation. Like I get out of one and I see you guys are talking to people. It's like it's incredible. It's like the theoretically synergy. Yeah, it's like creating a little bubble of change.
Yeah, it's probably tough when you're out here on your own.
Yeah.
It's tougher for sure.
Yeah.
It's really good to have
Props
you
to
guys
you
here.
for doing that all the time.
It's. I mean, I hadn't been doing it for a long time, but and my kit is literally all in this bag. Just this tripod, a phone. It's super easy to put together. So I encourage anybody who's interested in doing this kind of activism to do it. Mobius says so he made a comment about the too extreme idea.
Too extreme while taking the life of an innocent sentient being. Yeah. I wanted to say your line. What was it like? How many animals would you want to?
Yeah, that's actually a line from that that chip guy.
Oh wow.
He asked people, how many animals do you think should be slaughtered or killed for you, or how many animals do you want to be exploited until you go vegan, something like that.
Right.
It's a super powerful question. I don't know if I've asked that before. I think maybe today I kind of hinted at it, but I don't think I straight up asked it.
Yeah. I think we should. Yeah, I think it. It might get them to, in the moment, commit a little bit more than they're comfortable with. But if they hear it from their own self, they'll be more likely to think about it later and actually take a step.
Yeah, if you hear yourself saying something, it definitely makes sense. Moby said, sorry, it's hard not to get triggered, sorry. And then Johnny's asking if these other two guys are on YouTube. They should be, right?
Maybe. Maybe?
He says maybe. Maybe is not no. Maybe is maybe. So
also, don't be sorry, Mobius. I think it's valid to feel strongly. We do too. It's a fine line, trying to not feel too angry. But I also want to connect with these people because we were in their place at one point in time, and so I want to make sure that I connect with them to leave the seed in a positive place.
Yes. Eat okra, not orcas, says Lewis. Lewis and I do this thing where I say eat figs, not pigs, and then he says something, and I say eat carrots, not ferrets, stuff like that.
Amazing.
It's just we come up with rhymes. Eat grapes, not apes.
Yeah.
Even if you say an animal that people don't usually eat, actually, especially if you say an animal that people don't usually eat, they're like, wait, we don't eat them, and then they think, why not?
Eat persimmons, not chickens.
That's a good one. I say eat chickpeas, not chickens, but
Nice.
persimmons kind of rhymes more.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we try to get more people? Otherwise, we're just.
You could take one. After you take one, I can take one person, I guess. If you see me struggling, feel free to chime in.
Oh yeah. No, the best way is to jump right into it. That's what Haas did with me.
Yeah.
Just threw me to the wild.
All right, we think that it's time for Arjun to take the reins on a conversation. If you're ready for it.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're ready. Okay. Let's do it. you want to hold the sign?
Sure. Yeah.
Can we both point at him?
Chirag is saying, should we both point at him holding the sign in the middle of us? I'll maybe try verbally recruiting people if they look interested here. So, part of activism is also, a beautiful part of it is seeing other activists step into their element and develop their own ways of having positive educational interactions about veganism and animal rights. It's maybe pointed down a little bit too much. There you go. Never underestimate the power of kind of like eye contact. That's like kind of like, oh, there we go. We already got someone. All right, let's see if we can bring him into the frame here. Or maybe I'll just come closer with the. Do you guys want to come closer into the frame?
We're doing a live stream on YouTube. Okay.
Are you going to ask some questions?
Sure. Yeah. It's kind of like
Do you want to hold the mic?
Sure. Yeah.
Just be aware that the mic, if you move your fingers on a lot, it makes background noise.
Oh, sure.
So Shivam, right?
Cool. Are you from Chicago or tourist or? Tourist. Nice. Where are you coming from? India. Oh, nice. I'm Indian. I don't know if I look it. Chirag's obviously Indian. But yeah.
That's why I stopped, right?
yeah.
Familiar faces.
That connection. Yeah, that's good. So we're talking about oppression today and whether people think oppression is okay. So how do you feel about oppression? Well, how do you define oppression, first of all?
Depends on what kind of operation are you talking about. Right? Like, see,
Or what comes to your mind when you think of oppression?
sometimes, like if I think about different stages of life, right? So, it could be like a home thing, something you're oppressed by maybe family or something. It could be like in college where you're oppressed by your seniors. There's some kind of ragging or bullying in schools and colleges, right? And then when you come to the corporates, you're then oppressed by your higher management and seniors again. No, like for example, Friday evening they'll come. Yeah, I want this on Monday.
Yeah.
Not possible.
Right.
Yeah,
Totally.
If you're telling me Friday evening that okay, I want something on Monday, that means you want me to work on the weekend.
Yeah.
Right? So that kind of operation.
Yeah, kind of like in our day-to-day lives. Yeah. What about and then of course there's more extreme forms of oppression, right? Like slavery, obviously, is one example.
Slavery is like the highest form of it, like what China has been doing, or maybe I don't know if it is doing right now, but we have been hearing that okay, in China a lot of labor is used as a slave. That's why they have like a very cheap labor and all of that, right? Yeah. So okay, obviously operation is not right. Right. I don't support it. Right. But it totally depends on various forms or stages of life. Like for example, in college or in school, maybe a little or a mild sort of operation, which is for example the ragging, or the bullying, the light bullying that happens. Sometimes it also makes some person a strong or a confident person, right?
Sure.
For example, somebody who kind of bullied me, then I learned, okay, this is bullying, and I need to like stand up against it.
Right.
Then it made me, a better or a confident version of myself.
So, but it totally wasn't okay for the bullies to do that, right?
No. That's right.
Yeah.
In the beginning, that's what I said. That it is not at all. I'm not at all supporting it. But what I'm saying is that maybe a 10% of it or a 5% of it, and also again, it is not the ragging or the bullying that will teach you that. There are different modes of teaching.
There's better ways you can learn.
Better ways you can do that, right?
Yeah.
But not everybody knows the better way.
Yeah. I guess so even like we're kind of talking about like the more extreme form of oppression, like slavery or child labor. So you said oppression is never okay. What if like so with child labor, what if like the oppressors, like the people who like are forcing the people to do the labor, is it okay for them to do that just because they can? You know what I mean? Like, is it okay for someone to bully you just because they can? It's not, that doesn't make it okay.
See, child labor, like for example, India, child labor is banned.
Right.
You'll see a lot of commercial sites, you'll see posters like, okay, we don't employ a child or whatever. And it should not happen, obviously. It's not right. The child should first of all study.
Sure. Yes, yeah, and even if the people being oppressed, like slave, child labor, if they don't know they're being oppressed, maybe they're for some like intelligence, maybe they're intellectually disabled. Does that make it okay? like they're being mistreated, but maybe they don't.
Then I
fully
think
know
there
it.
should be some sort of coaching or some sort of, like, for example, like India is not that advanced right now, but I'm maybe assuming in America or in Chicago there are centered. So in movies or drama series, we have been seeing support groups, right? There are support group, people can go and talk about it, and they get to know, okay, because sometimes when I'm depressed or maybe I'm getting some sort of bullying or harassment or anything like that, maybe I don't know about it.
Right.
Yeah, but then if there are forums where I can go and speak, or there are people who can maybe
To like help people who are
help
oppressed.
people.
Yeah.
But it's not
Why don't we
okay.
tell them why we're here?
Sure, yeah. So yeah, reason we're here is about animal activism. Okay, so we're animal rights activists. So are you vegetarian or vegan?
Yeah.
You are vegetarian. Okay, nice. Yeah, I figured since you're from India. But so how do you feel about like the animal industry and like what goes on and everything, like the meat
But
industry
do
and
you
everything?
consider animals an oppressed class? Because we went through all the different definitions of oppression and the examples of people used to justify oppression. So would you consider animals like an oppressed
So
class?
if you think about it that way, right? These days there are a lot of dairy farms or maybe cow herders or the farmers who are also using the best practices, in the sense that, like, for example, you are obviously coming to the dairy part of it, right?
Right. Well, all parts
Yeah,
of it.
but let's talk about dairy, for
Like,
example.
okay, yeah, we can talk about dairy farming.
Let's talk about dairy farming, for example. The cows
Right.
are used for milk.
Right.
Now, there are multiple ways to keep a cow, right? I can do a chain pulley thing, right? I can let the cow free graze, right? So now a lot of people are learning and understanding that we should leave them free, right? They are making like a bigger farm. I know. Now they will point like, yeah, making milk out of it again. is that the right way? No, obviously. But then there's difference between using a machine, like they use the tubes to take out the milk. Sorry. Versus uh, having the child of the cow, like the calf of the cow, being with the cow, and then you are sort of milking it. Because, for example, when you do like the milking in Hindi is called dodhan.
Okay.
Okay, in Hindi it's called dodhan,
Okay.
and the cow has four.
Okay.
Okay. So it's sort of considered that two is for the cow's baby or the calf,
Okay.
and then other two, like, that's why it's called dodhan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do you so there's a lot of people in India, right? There's like 1 billion people, something like that.
Sorry.
There's like 1 billion people or something in India, right?
Uh-huh.
So most of the people who get their milk, do you think they're getting it from the farms like that, or from some farm that maybe doesn't treat their cows?
No, not
that way?
everybody is getting. Obviously, you
Yeah.
can't educate. Like, but the entire point I'm saying is that people are getting educated. People are acknowledging this fact,
Right.
and we are taking the right step
Yeah,
towards it.
because that you can maybe correct me on this. I believe India is like obviously when the cows stop producing milk, they probably get killed. India, I believe, is the biggest exporter of beef and leather, right?
Like, I don't know the stats that,
Yeah.
okay, if India is the biggest or not, but yeah, then, like, that's what I said. A lot of people are now getting the best practices, keeping the cow free, and then also serving the cow until the death, like the natural death. I'm not saying sending it to the butcheries and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because in a lot of states in India, it's illegal to kill a cow, so they will starve them to death, or they will walk them to a state where they can get slaughtered, and a lot of them die on the way. But even if we put that aside, just using animals for their, milk, which is meant for that calf, it's an exploitative process. Like if you just, let's say you enslave children and just use them half the day, the other half they do whatever they want. Still, that half is still exploiting them. They don't, like, just because they don't know any better doesn't make it okay to use their body, their secretions. It's another mother's breast milk.
yes.
We would consider it odd if we drank our, a
Yeah,
friend's.
but these days, even human breast milk is getting sold, right?
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you
I
want
mean,
to
that's
buy, you
like-
can just go Google.
They
and
might
see.
give consent for that, but
Yes,
animals
yes.
cannot
Yeah,
give consent.
obviously, a human can, and that's
Right.
why. right?
Yeah.
But animal cannot.
Are there other plant milks in India that are readily available, like almond milk, oat milk, or anything like that? Yeah. Would you consider?
There are a lot of stores like obviously these retail stores, big stores, where you can easily find soy milk, almond milk. There is a lot of milk.
Yeah. How do you feel about those kind of milks? Would you consider? Have you ever tried them? Or?
Yeah, I really like coconut milk.
Yeah.
I've been using it very frequently.
Yeah.
I'm not a very big fan of milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do consume.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't consume at all,
Okay.
right? But I'm not like a regular consumer or something. Right? And yeah, I do consider other sorts of milk also. I've been using it.
Yeah, that's awesome because, like Sharadak said, obviously you're not getting it from a cow, and they're so much better for the environment. Also, like I'm sure you know how bad the pollution in India is and everything, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, but we also need to consider a lot of things like cost, and then not everybody can afford, the almond milk or the soy milk.
A lot of it is very much affordable these days, and also you can make it at home as well from soybeans. But store-bought soy milk is not that far off. It is a little bit more expensive, but that's because the government subsidizes cow's milk, unfortunately.
No, there's no
But,
subsidy on cow milk.
Oh, in India?
No.
Okay.
There's nothing called subsidy.
Okay.
There's no subsidy.
Yeah, at least in the U.S. they do subsidize it, but
Maybe. But it's more like it's more dependent on what the cost is for the farmer.
okay.
So, for example, when I said there are farmers who are doing free grazing and more human practices or the best practices, their milk costs slightly higher, and for farmers who are not yet able to do all of that, their milk is a little cheaper.
Yeah, even I guess like in the U.S. it's probably similar. Maybe in India it's different, but I mean like water, I'm sure is cheaper than milk. It's not like people have to drink some kind of milk. Because I'm in medical school currently, and like milk is probably one of the worst things you could consume. Like in India, the rate of diabetes is so high. A lot of that is due to sweets and also the amount of dairy people consume. So like just switching to water, I think would be great for a lot of people. So. Yeah.
If it was affordable, would you consider going vegan?
Anyway, I'm anyway vegetarian. My dairy consumption is very less.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm almost vegan.
Yeah.
True.
I'll turn someday, maybe.
But usually we ask like how many more cows do you want exploited before you go vegan?
Yeah,
so
but-
it's just something to think about.
Yeah, sure.
We have some information here.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
it's
you.
a
Nice
vegan
talking to you,
starter kit. Thank you for talking with us.
All right, you want to debrief or?
No, I mean, I think we heard it. I think
Oh,
the
sure.
comments
Oh, yeah.
the comments were kind of popping off here.
Oh, thanks, Chad.
Yeah, vegan isn't about what you eat. I think Lewis was saying humane dairy, cow exploitation, no such thing. That's breeding cows for utility exploitation. And I think Tirag, you were emphasizing that point a lot. I think too.
Yeah.
I think it's gotta give the information and see what happens with it.
True. You did great though.
Yeah, that was
a really
I
good
couldn't hear everything, but from what I heard, it sounded
Yeah, it's good to listen to you guys.
Oh yeah.
I've done a Cuba Truth once, but I just holding the thing. I wasn't actually like talking. Yeah, it's fun. I watched like some YouTube videos here and there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
can see you channeling your inner, Ed Winters or Joey
Yeah,
Carbstrong.
and like when thinking about doing this, I was like, if I do it, I'll just like pull like I'm in med school card, and then people are like, your words hold maybe a little more value, So
True.
Arjun, did you need to get going at like 7?
I appreciate you remembering. I can save till like 7:30.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it going. Mobius says it helps that you guys are all friendly too. And Lewis says good outreach with 3 thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. We got Schneikes. So my phone battery is down to 22%. Let me try just darkening my screen a little bit. I think that'll help a lot. I don't want to go low power mode because I think it might affect my bandwidth, but we'll just go a little darker. I can still read the comments.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good point when you said like, you guys were
Yeah. I struggle with it.
If I could hand these to you guys, thank you.
I don't want to sound argumentative.
Uh-oh. There we go. Got a low battery warning there, but we're good. I'm at 20%. Maybe we can get one more conversation in here. Let me move this camera back a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, Evil Steven, take care. Enjoy your game. Good luck. Thanks for being here. Battery is going down quick. Hopefully we can squeeze out one more conversation. Keep an eye on the battery. My battery's at 19%. I don't know if my battery's at like 18% or 19%. So I lowered my screen brightness, but I just don't know if it's gonna hold on. We'll see. Mobius says, if I don't get the chance later, have a great day all. Great outreach, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. They say thank you. I don't know if you could hear because I got the mic, but thanks so much, Mobius. Appreciate it. You want to participate?
Yeah, I want to
Okay, great.
But my English is so.
What?
She helped me.
What language do you speak?
Spanish.
Okay. By the way, we're live on YouTube right now. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Can I record these too?
Sí.
Yeah, with the glaze.
Y yo puedo hablar en español también, si ustedes quieren. Mi español es así, pero pienso que podemos comunicar.
Okay.
Okay, so voy a necesitar un poco de paciente.
Sí, paciencia.
Paciencia,
Sí.
patience, sí. Yeah, thank you. Gracias por su paciencia. Nosotros somos, ¿cómo se dice?
If you want to talk in English,
No,
I can understand.
no problema.
Okay.
Nosotros somos luchando para los derechos de los animales y estamos uno de las preguntas que estamos preguntando es animales. ¿Ustedes piensan que animales otros de los humanos tienen derechos?
Pues, bueno, a ver. Le abro la cámara en español. ¿Y puedo hablar rápido o trato de hablar? Tu audiencia.
No problema, porque quiero que si hay gente que quien habla en español pueden escuchar naturalmente.
Okay.
Y yo voy a tratar de entender.
Okay.
Y si no puedo, voy a decir.
Me dices.
Sí.
Bueno, yo pienso que sí. Claramente, los animales son como nosotros, los humanos, otro ser vivo. Pero siento que nosotros nos aprovechamos mucho, y no solamente digamos que lo digas de los animales, sino como tal de la naturaleza. Somos como tomamos mucha ventaja y mucho de ellos para el beneficio propio nuestro. Entonces olvidamos que hacen parte también de nuestra vida, y simplemente como que pienso yo que ustedes hacen esto porque las personas solamente estamos pensando en los animales como en la comida que puede llegar a ser para nuestra casa, y más que todo diría yo que eso, o inclusive de pronto animales como domésticos, la compañía que pueden ser, pero estamos como ajenos a los demás y a la inmensa fauna que debe haber en este mundo. Entonces sí pienso que tienen derechos, sí pienso que deben ser respetados, y me parece increíble que hayan personas. Yo soy de Colombia.
Okay, if I understand, posiblemente usted puede traducir. So he said he believes animals have rights, and it's kind of maybe sad that people are
Take
like
advantage.
industrializing the natural world kind of and using them for our benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. So estoy ¿cómo se dice? Wondering.
Estoy averiguando o preguntando.
Quiero preguntar, maybe es más fácil. Quiero preguntar que usted ¿cómo se dice? Usted sabe qué significa vegano.
Para mí vegano es una persona que no consume nada, pero, o sea, digamos, bueno, no sé, estoy confundido, pero tengo la diferencia entre vegano y vegetariano, de que uno
Sí.
de los dos...
diferencia muy
Los dos.
grande.
Ok.
Porque vegetariano es solamente una dieta y ser vegano es
un estilo de vida.
ser, filosofía.
Lifestyle.
No es un lifestyle porque es un ¿cómo se dice? Commitment. Or decision.
Yeah, okay.
Una decisión por
Es un compromiso.
Compromiso.
who es justio. Justo. Justice. Por ejemplo, si una persona ¿cómo se dice? To beat or to hurt un perro, es un problema con la policía en este país, pero tenemos edificios que tienen puercos que están matando horriblemente y es legal para matar puercos, vacas, pollos, sí. Y en el opinión vegano no es justo para tratar formas de vida diferentes en formas diferentes. Y hay más información que quiero ver a ustedes. Ver es to give, no, ver es to watch. Dar, gracias.
Dar, aquí.
Ok, lo siento, yo hablo turco también, turcano, y en esa idioma ver es to give. Y, earlier today hablo con personas turcanos y mi cabeza es...
Habla muy bien español.
Gracias. Y en este website Vegan Outreach, si ustedes visitar, hay un guide booklet, mini libro en español también.
Okay.
Yo olvidé el título, pero es similar que edificio o no, alimentarios, something. Yo olvidé, pero si ustedes visitan, probablemente pueden buscarlo.
Okay.
Y muchas gracias para hablar conmigo.
Sí.
Y yo quiero que ustedes tienen un buena vida vegana. Vegano.
Okay.
Gracias.
Okay,
Muchas gracias.
Hablas muy bien español.
Gracias,
Muy bien.
gracias por paciencia conmigo.
¿Puedo tomar el Instagram? ¿Es YouTube? ¿O
Sí,
no?
es YouTube.
Can I take the account?
Oh, claro que sí, por supuesto.
Creo que se apagaron justo ahorita.
Me llamo en YouTube es Haz.
Could you write?
Sí, H-A-Z and then vegan.
Are you from Turkey?
Mi familia es, pero yo hablo.
vegan.
Sí, es yo. Muchas gracias por suscribir. Oh,
Yeah.
nosotros.
Mira.
He pulled up our. I think they can't see right now because it froze. But he pulled up our live stream right now. Okay. Great, muchas gracias. Gracias. Buenas noches a ustedes. Gracias. I tried my Spanish a little bit. It was I managed okay to speak. I was look, that dog is wearing sunglasses.
Oh wow.
What do we think about that? There's a dog wearing sunglasses. Okay. How did that go? I didn't even get to see much of the conversation.
It was really good. She's a former sociologist who's a professor at university, and so she was pretty much on board with whatever she's saying. She was agreeing like, oppression's never okay. She agreed like what we're doing to animals, eating them is a form of oppression. She says she's mostly vegetarian, and like she seemed aware, but she consumes dairy. That's her mostly like non-vegan stuff.
I'm sure you guys educated big time.
Yeah, she seemed aware of what's going on.
Okay, so she was even aware of the things you were educating.
Yeah, like I told her, like the cow needs to be pregnant. Somebody's impregnating this cow.
Did you bust out the line? How many cows?
No, oh my god, I did on the previous.
Yeah.
But,
can't get them all.
Yeah.
All right,
but
well.
she said she's an environmentalist, so she refused to take this.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh!
And I was like, what about all the cheese?
Yeah. Wow. I'll have to mull that over in my mind. It's like. I guess in a way she's passing it on so someone else can get it maybe if she digested enough of the message. But I think we got to kind of close it out here because the battery is down to 9%. So we will be heading out. Mobius says muy bien. I don't know, Mobius, if you speak Spanish, but yeah, I tried. I think you kind of try to convey the message as best you can. I didn't want to just try to do it in English. I wanted to kind of try to get my Spanish practice in as well and things like that. So anyway, huge thanks to Chirag for joining me again. And if you want to say bye in the stream.
Thank you all for joining in. Please hit that like, smash that like and subscribe button.
And we got Arjun here, first time on this stream, so really awesome to have you too.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chad. I'll try to stop by again at some point.
Amazing. All right, well, thanks guys, thanks everybody for watching, and go vegan if you're not vegan, and if you're vegan, get active for animals. All right. Yeah, keep spreading the vegan message, says Chirag, and take care everybody. Have a great day or night wherever you are.